wanna see me make a chocolate vanilla swirl?
Yo, what fuck do you mean? I put your mama right on that beat. Link, right, get on your knees. Bitch said he bought it, but I disagree. Yeah.
Hello there people, I will show you the absolute basics of Cinema 4D. The settings, the camera setup, lighting, all this other stuff that will just get you right into the program. This is for if you're directly new. And this will be everything. So I will also show you how to import characters, but that will be the last step. So first off, let's get into this. So first off, we go with the navigation. If you look up here at the top right, you will have these 4 buttons. The first one is to move. The second one is to zoom in and out. The third one is to rotate. So yeah, and then the fourth one is to go into all these different views. I will show you what these views do. So this is the front, top, and right. If I make a box right here, I will have all these different angles and I can control them each just by dragging up and down. Very simple for that. And now I will move on to tools. Also, important note right here, a key you will need to know is how to go backwards. So let's say you make a mistake, you move this over but you want it to go backwards right where it was. Press Ctrl+Z on your keyboard and that's how you undo. And this goes for anything pretty much on your computer. If you do something by mistake, you can press Ctrl+Z and it will work. It will just go right back. Alright, so the next thing we will go into are the tools, which there are a lot. So we have this right here. This is the select button. You can just select anything. If I have like 5 different cubes, I can just select all of them just like this. If you go into live selection, rectangle selection, you can just select them all like that, drag select. And then we have lasso select, where we can just do this and that will select each object or whatever is in the lasso. And then you have polygon selection. It's like the lasso. Simple. Alright. And then we have this button right here. This is for directly selecting something. So, but you can't like drag select. You can only select a single object. Or if you want to if you want to select more than one, hold shift and select. And now I have all these dragged out. Very simple. And now we have the scale tool. So just select. If you want to scale on all the dimensions, which are X, Y, and Z, you can just press anywhere and scale up. Now if you want to drag out on a certain area itself, let's say first off you have to make this object editable, so select your object and press C, and that's how you make it editable. And then you can just drag up on each to get individual ones. And then you have these right here, these arrows. This is both the I don't even know the axis. This is X, Z, Y, but you get the point. Do that right here, here. They only select 2 at a time. And then if I want to drag them all back, remember, just select anywhere on the screen and bring it back down. So the next thing we have set up are our render settings. So if you click on this cogwheel right here with the clip, you will have this brought up. Now you will have 2 things that you should only pay attention to, which is standard and physical. I use physical and I suggest you also use physical. But if your computer cannot handle physical, oh god, my window was open. Oh jeez. Alright. Then yeah, I suggest you use physical all the time. Unless you have bad PC, you use standard. But for this tutorial, let's use physical. Now if we go into our effects, we have ambient occlusion. You will always want ambient occlusion on. It will just increase shadow strength. And sometimes you may also want global illumination. These are the 2 key effects to your render settings. You will always want this. Alright, so Now we got that out today. For now, we will turn these off by simply unchecking. Alright. So the next thing we have is our lights. So if I go right here and see this light bulb, we have an light, a target light, a spotlight, area light, infinity light, PBR light. I haven't gotten to PBR light yet, so I don't know what this really means. And the sunlight. You will want to pay attention to light and area light. So if I just drag up a regular light, and then I go to my move tool, drag it up, and press render, now we have a light source. Also, shadows are not automatically on, so we have to go into our light itself, go into shadow right here, and make it soft. You always want soft shadows, either soft or area. And then we drag out a light again, and bam, we have that. Also, you want to go into your details, and most of the time, well 90% of the time, you will want to have on inverse square physically accurate. That way you can change the fall off of your light. So basically you have 3 control levels: the brightness, the color, and this fall off right here. And bam. Now I will show you guys the area light. So go back into your light right here and choose the area light and drag up, and this is simply like a plane with a light. That's really all it is, and you can edit the length and height of it. Also, you can check show and wait, hold up, let me go back real quick. Let's go into our shadow map. For area lights, you want to choose area. For shadows, hold on. Alright, I'm back now. Anyway, yeah, make sure you have on area for shadows. And yep. Where was I now? Anyway, now go into your details right here, and you'll want to have your fall off set to inverse square, and you will also want to check on Z direction only. So only applies in the Z direction. And your Z direction is this blue arrow. So yeah, that's it right there. If I render, if I bring this back here, it will have barely any lights. But then if I uncheck Z direction, then it will go ahead and do it on the back side. It will make that more brighter. But yeah, keep that on. Alright, so, and then I will go over spotlight. This is simply, it's pretty self-explanatory. Anything in this triangle area will be brightened. Bam. And you can also want to choose this inverse square, physically accurate. It's automatically Z direction, so nothing to really worry about there. And that's it for our lights. Now to delete stuff, just select over here and press delete. Very simple. I will go into our project settings and stuff like that now. So if we go right here to mode, we have all this stuff. If you go into project, first thing I will go over is our, do not pay attention to this stuff. I will show you what this stuff right here is. So default object color, I will show you what this is. This will just change stuff like this. Like if I make this red, then our default object color, anything we load in will be red without materials, which is pretty ugly for pretty bad for this stuff. So I would just go back to gray. And then we have our view clipping. Now this is like tiny. If I do like this is basically like how much will be on our screen at once. Kind of like rendering in GTA 5 when you go like really far out but barely anything shows, but when you get close to it, it starts to show up. That's pretty much what this is. So like a medium, large, huge. Yeah, I will make another example. So if I make a plane, scale this all the way out. Let me just go into the attributes. Let's see, make it like 50,000. by 50,000, and you'll see what I mean. So let me go back into project mode and tiny, small, medium, and large, huge, whatever. You get the idea. So that's that. If you go back to mode, go into our project, we will also have no, that's pretty much it for that part. Is there anything else we need to go over in this part? Nope. Also, so now let's go back to our project mode and choose view settings. If we go to display, you shouldn't really worry about this stuff here. Yeah, don't really worry about it. If we go into view, there's some stuff. So if we go into view, we have the opacity of black borders. So this will be the first thing, and basically it is that stuff. Now when I'm ready to do my final renders, I like to put this on 100. Now another thing we have is the safes. So render safe, anything that's on the black lines will not show, or inside the black lines, yes, will not show. And then we have the title safe. So pretty much anything inside this box will be focused on heavily by the viewer. So whatever you make, so let's say if you have a character in a scene, make sure your character is inside this thing, inside this box, so it's like the main point of what you're making. Then we have the action safe, same thing pretty much. And then we have all this other stuff for more detail of what the people will see when you make something. So let's say if I got a plane, bam, bam, and then I grab this cube, bam. If my cube, hold up, if my cube is like all the way over here, then that's bad because it's all the way over there. Nobody will really pay attention to it. But if it's inside all these boxes and right in the center, then that's a good thing. That's like the main focus. So that's pretty much that. And if we go back into our mode, view settings, view, and we can just uncheck all this. But I will keep render safe on unless I'm modeling. You'll want to turn that off. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know for that part. And then let's see, we have OpenGL. This is the R19 thing. So if you have R19, then this stuff will pop up. It's pretty much just, hold up, let me go back to it. View, 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 come on. Where is it at? Alright. Anyway, shadow is self-explanatory. It's all viewport stuff. I will get into all this, like it'll show more when I get more into the scenes and show you guys some stuff. But yeah, if you have a good PC, check all this stuff on. It's not really needed. It's just an extra thing that makes your mouth water. But yeah, alright. So next thing we're going to is modeling. So I will show you like some basics. So if you go to the blue box right here, we have all this stuff. We have cube, cone, pretty self-explanatory, cube, and then sometimes in models you will have these settings over here. If you don't see these right here, make sure you have attributes selected right here, not layers, attributes, and then select your object, and then they will pop up again. So we have this inner radius of our cube, self-explanatory. I mean, that's pretty much all, really. That goes for anything if we make a mountain or a landscape. Drag it up above the cube, plane. We have all these settings. Like right here, see how it's not showing? I just have to select my landscape again, and now it's showing. We have all these settings. The more segments you have, the better the detail. So, as you can see right now, we have very pixelated type of terrain. If I go into my filter, nope. If I go into display up here, you will have these options. We can choose anything with lines will show a topology. All this stuff right here is topology. So yeah. If I increase this to let's say 1000, you see we have a lot more polygons. And more polygons equals better resolution. If I turn this off back to Godard shading, that's a huge difference. I will show you again. So let me make another landscape. Let me clone this and make this 100 by 100. This is the difference. Very low quality, very high quality display, good art shading. Now you see the polygon density. If you have a bad PC, you never want to do this. If you have a bad PC, you should do this with some displacement. If you don't know what that is, I will get to it in a later tutorial. But yeah, alright, so that's pretty much it for that. And now we have all these other stuff. You can really just go in here and play around with each one of these. I mean, it's not really hard to get into. But anyway, for now we're going to go into regular modeling. So I'm going to show you some very basic stuff. So to model this, first off we need to make sure we press C to make it editable, to make it modelable. And one thing we can select is we have the options, all these borders. We have these, if you go into vertex mode right here, yeah, first off you have these three things right here: vertex, edge, and polygon. Polygon, self-explanatory; edge, simple; and vertex. When you're in vertex mode, you should use the live selection. So yeah, you can just select each vertex, move up, move down, move up, move down. And then with edge, you should really just, I don't know, use any, really, it doesn't really matter. You can just select the edge and do this. Also, you see that when I selected my edge, our axis changed. This stuff right here kind of rotated. If you don't want this, just see right here, this box with the coordinate system, select this, and now we can just generally move across instead of being limited to what the parent is. So yeah, that's that. And now I will show you guys some basic stuff. So if we go into polygon mode, we right click anywhere on the screen, we have all these options. These are modeling options. Also, a suggestion, when you model, you should go into layout right here and choose model. That way we have some options down here, and that will be very good for modeling. Oh god, these borders, hold on. Let me go back to project mode. Viewport. View opacity 0 and uncheck this center. See, I'm modeling right now, so I don't really need that stuff. Anyway, so we have all these options down here. This is extrude. So if I select this button and just extrude out, it just makes another thing. Simple as that. If I go to inset, I can select the polygon, inset, and then I can extrude that, and then we have bevel right here. And when I bevel something, I can just do this and it bevels. Also, we have the subdivision right here in our settings of the bevel, which would just make it rounder, adding more topology to it. Very simple. And now we have a loop tool, so we can just select the loop and loop. And that's pretty much the very basics of modeling in Cinema 4D. And then we also have this right here. If we select this, we can just select, well, you can do this generally, but yeah. With this polygon mode select, you can just do whatever you want to drag out, drag out, drag out. Simple as that. And then I would just continue beveling some stuff. I would go into edge mode and bevel some edges. Wait, wrong one. Bevel this, bevel that, and bevel this. Very simple. As you can see, we made the weirdest thing ever. So yes, that's how you get into modeling. There's one more tool I have to go over. So if I go back to my object, we will have this knife tool. This knife tool is pretty much, they should call it a carving tool, because that's pretty much what you can do with it. I suggest you use vertex mode when you have the knife selected, so that way you can just select stuff, and that'll be that. Also, if you're like stuck out here and you don't know what to click, press escape, and that will finalize your knife selection. Now I will go back into my extrude mode, select this and extrude that out, and that's how you do that. And that's pretty much modeling tools. So yeah, alright, so now I'm going into camera settings, our camera stuff how to get the camera set up. So for now, I'll make a plane and a disc. And I will make the radius very large. Okay, so drag this up, increase the radius of this. Where's my radius? There we go. Okay, so now if I go ahead to create, if I go to create and if I go to camera, we have this selected. Now this is our camera. Also, I will go back into my project mode and bring back up the bars. No, view settings, and increase these again. And also I will make my layout back to standard. There we go. Alright, so that's camera. Anyway, so now that we created camera, well, let me redo that. I went too fast there. Anyway, so what you want to do, let's say this is your character right here. This box is your character. You want to find a good position anywhere. So let's say if I want it right here, and if I want to save this position, I will go to create and choose a camera, and that's it. Then I will go into camera mode by selecting this, or clicking this right here. That's how we do that. Also, if we go back to object mode right here and we select our camera, we have these 4 orange points. If we select the outer ones, it's pretty much zooming in, changing our scope. This will change the I forgot the name of it. Yeah, I forgot the name of it, so I can't even say it right now. But you get what the point is. More widescreen, more square. I would put it that way. And that's pretty much it for the camera settings. I mean, there's a lot more into camera settings, but I will go over that when we get into actual tutorials and stuff like that. Anyway, back to the camera. So if I right click on this camera, if I go to Cinema 4D tags, and if I choose protection, this will make the camera not move. So no matter what I do, let's say if I make a mistake and move it, I can't do that anymore. The camera is stuck in place. I cannot do anything. Now if I delete this, and if I go back into camera mode, let's say if I accidentally move, if I accidentally select one of these and move, our camera will move too, which is sad. So yeah. Now that's pretty much it for the camera. Very, very, very simple. I mean, there's a lot more settings we can get into though, but not for this tutorial. And last thing, I will go into our material setup. Okay, now I will go into material setup. So to make a material, all you really do is go down here and double click in this box area. And if you want more, I don't know, detailed settings, or just, my Cinema 4D is acting slow. I don't know why. Whenever I go to making a material, it starts being slow. I might have to reinstall because this is pretty annoying. And we have all this other stuff that you don't need to worry about right now. Just work on double clicking right here is all you need to do. So if I go ahead and make a box, I apply this material onto the box, and then I open up the material by double clicking on it. We have these options. So we have the color option, or the color channel, which is very self-explanatory. If I click over here, we have a different color. Very simple. We have luminance right here. If you want your material to draw off light, you check this, and now it will become a illuminated material. Let's say you need it for a ceiling light or something like that. That's what you would check that on for. And then we have uncheck luminance, then we have bump. So if I go ahead and choose noise, we have this weird bumpiness on our material. And then we have the strength. This will control the bump strength. Very explanatory. And then we have this map right here, and that's black and white. Everywhere where it's white, that's where it goes up. Where it's black, it goes down. That's like it's called a height map. I'll put it that way. So if I render this, There's our bump. We have the heights on it. It's not 3D, so it won't look that way, but it's just more information to make your material look realistic. And then same thing with displacements. All the way down here. So if I go to displacement and check that on, and then I go to my texture right here and I paste our noise. Also, all I did was go back to the bump. Right here in the texture, I click this arrow. If my PC, I'm going to punch this. Okay. Oh my god. Anyway, I went to copy shader, then I pasted it. Christ. As you can see, now it's geometry. It's actually displacing our stuff. But for displacement, you need more topology, more segments. I increase all these segments up by render. As you can see, now it actually distorts it, and now we have this edgy stuff right here. And I think that's pretty much it. Nope, that's not it. We have reflectance now. So if I add we have all these stuff right here. So these for our normal reflection stuff, and then these two down here are our speculars. Now specular is like not really reflection, it's more like increasing the light strength, how it hits it, and how it spreads on the material surface. If you don't know what that means, I will show you. So if I choose specular and increase its width, as you can see, it gets more like that. If I create a light, I will start interactive region to get this more. Come on, Cinema 4D. Why you gotta be slow? This is so weird because I just opened up 3ds Max and it ran completely smooth. But anyway, if I decrease the strength, as you can see, if I increase it, just look at the corners. Down. If it loads up. Okay, you know what? I think that's it. That's it for this tutorial. Stay tuned for more tutorials. Yeah. Jesus Christ, this is so bad. Bad way off to start a new tutorial series. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much Cinema 4D basics. You'll learn all this stuff in another tutorial anyway, so this video right here is really optional for the basic people. Anyway, I'm out.
With Instagram hoes, got a boatload, got a K on the side of me is what they don't know. Yo boyfriend a fucking lame, he a bozo, like Santa Claus, swear to God, I got hella hoes. Walked in this bitch with my ice on, I don't trust you snake ass niggas, y'all some pie.